Hey, how you doing? Good, how about yourself? So, Logan, tell me a little about yourself. As you may know, I am Logan Northcraft, and I'm a junior at Clark County High School. I normally take the hardest classes there is to take. I take some IB classes, and I have some college classes as well at LCC, some of which are going to transfer to me hopefully getting my associates, so that's very good. And then I live on a farm right outside of Berryville. I live with my family, my grandparents, my uncle, and overall that's just taught me to be a very diligent worker. And hopefully if you pick me for the internship, I can show you how diligent of a worker I am. That's very interesting. It's very good to see people going for their associates like that. It's very good. So, do you know what initiative is? And if you happen to, can you tell me an example of it and how it's used in your everyday life? Initiative is like doing something before you're being asked to do it. So it's not necessarily homework where you're required to do that, and if you don't do it, you get penalized, right? So you can't say you're taking initiative when you do your chores. Okay, so it's more like things, for instance, like things I do on the farm. As I mentioned earlier, I live with my grandparents, my parents, and they occasionally give me lists. And of course, I always have to do the things on the list, but I also have to do more. So if a fence needs mending or the cows need feeding, I have to do all of that. Um, if something needs to be done, I have to do it, and that's just part of the job. Like, you can't just do what's on the job description. You have to do above and beyond if you're going to be successful. So that's a very good answer. Now let's do a little role play here. So let's pretend that I'm an eighth grader going into high school. Okay, so I want you to tell me what's so great about DECA, why I should join it, and why I should be part of the organization in itself. Overall, I would just explain to them that high school is just like a boot camp. So you're preparing to go into the real world, and DECA is the best possible option for you to prepare you in business, marketing, management, hospitality, tourism, just anything. And there's so many role plays out there that when we go to these competitions that you can act them out and really get a feel for what the real life environment would be. And like you just kind of get. I mean, I don't want to say like a brotherhood, like fraternity or sorority, but you kind of get a close knit relationship with all your advisors, your fellow students, and your networking that you come into, like at state leadership conferences and national ICDC. You can meet so many people, and they know people who will know you, and it's just intertwined. And once you get out of high school and get to college, some of those are vital. So, I mean, overall, it's just great to connect you to the real world after high school. So, if you were to pick a brand to describe yourself as, what would it be and why? I would describe myself as Apple because they're creative and innovative, and they started from the bottom, and look where they are now. They're an empire that serves millions of customers each day. So I just think that I'm very creative and innovative, especially when it comes to word processing and advertisements and stuff like that, and movie making. I'm just very tech savvy, and if you look at Apple, they have all, like, most of the time, if you see something new like a touchscreen scanner, whatever the new thing may be, it's usually from Apple first, and then others trickle along, but they're always the first thing to come out with something new, and that's the way I kind of think. I always like to be on top. Yes, that is fantastic that you love to be on top and et cetera, but why, out of all other candidates, should we pick you? You should pick me because of my passion. I'm always going to put my all in anything, whether it's homework or doing something on the farm or creating a new advertising campaign for the company. Like, you're not going to find another person that's going to use as many resources, do as much research, do as many hours on it. You're just not going to find that, and that's why you should choose me. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We definitely need passion in this company. If you're not going to put your all into something, why even do it? So, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Well, in about 5 years, I hope to be the director of marketing at a huge firm, hopefully in New York City or Chicago, LA, something big. I hope to get a lot of publicity out there. I just want to go down the street and see my advertising and just know that I did that. And when I was a kid, I kind of thought about that stuff. Like, I'd drive down the road and I would think someone made that. It's not just there. Someone designed everything there. So and that's the main reason why you should hire me, because I'm not here to put this on a resume. I'm not here to put marketing, campaign, advertising, intern on my resume. I'm here to get the experience and get better, and I think here I can really thrive and do something. Alright, so we'll go ahead and move on. Tell me about your greatest weakness. My greatest weakness would most likely be that I try to please everyone. And my dad always said growing up, you just can't please everyone. You can do your best, but it's just near to impossible to please everyone in the workspace. So whether you have this font or that font, and someone's gonna like this font, or someone's not gonna like that font, I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day, and you're gonna try your best, and that's all you can ask for, really. So tell me about your experience with DECA, and why should we hire you? My experience with DECA has been a great one. It's opened me up to many opportunities. I've gone to fall rallies, I've gone to holiday parties, I've been to all 3 district competitions, and 2 out of those 3 times have actually been to the state leadership conference. I've never been to ICDC, which is the national, obviously, but hopefully next year I can study a little harder, because usually my test is my problem. I can study a little harder and hopefully crack down on that. My role plays are typically pretty good because of my people skills, which is it's good. They're pretty good overall. I mean, it's hooked me up with a lot of networking skills. I've met friends of friends and people that I never knew I would even know. I've met at state leadership conferences just waiting in line. You should hire me because I know all these things that I learned from DECA. I know how to sell a product. I know all my 7 Ps. I know how to be good with customers. I mean, it all comes back to DECA, and hopefully I can give back to DECA at the same time. So, well, that's the last questions I have for you. That's a fantastic interview. If I were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 130, I'd give it almost a 120. Theoretically, of course. I mean, it's not like we're grading you here, but theoretically, I would give you 120. Seems fair. Do you have any questions for me? Yeah, so what's the workplace environment like? Like, is it like high speed? Is it in desk? Are we out in the field a lot? Or can you just tell me a little bit about it? Well, for the most part, we're just going to stay inside. We work at a desk. We do a lot of research and stay up with the statistics. So if, let's say, teens are starting to really like the color blue. I mean, believe it or not, there are stats out there that blue stimulates certain parts of the brain that activates the part of the brain that means buying. So we do a lot of that, and if we need to, we'll do a little bit of demographics out in the field. We might test an advertisement. We might go to people and say, hey, how do you like this? Would you buy this product because of this advertisement, et cetera, et cetera. But other than that, it's just in our building in Manassas. So in the case that I do, in fact, get the internship, what could I do to excel in the company, to go above and beyond? Well, you see, the biggest factor of doing well in this company is time management. If you don't have good time management, you're not really going to fit in here. Everyone here has stuff to do. We're not here to babysit you. If you have a project due Tuesday at 11:59, don't have it done at 11:58. That's unacceptable. So we just have to really make use of our time. If we know we have 5 projects coming up the next week, then we should probably space them out. We shouldn't save them for all Thursday when we know they're due Friday afternoon. That not only hurts you, but that hurts the whole company in a whole. Because as much as you don't realize it, you're not on your A game the next day. Especially if we have a presentation the next day to like a company or like a company head, company CEO. You're not going to be on your A game. You're not going to even know what you're talking about because you're going to be so tired and exhausted from doing all that work the previous night. So overall, just time management, and yeah, I think that's it. My last question is, what are the next steps of the interviewing process? So every year we pick 16 candidates. As the director of marketing, I interview all 16 at first. Now, if after this interview we choose 4 of you, those 4 move on to be interviewed with the CEO, Mark Gricius. After that, then you will get a letter in the mail that said that you've got the job, and then you move on and you come in and we discuss salary, we discuss benefits, etc., etc. Basically, you just come in, you do a day's work. I'm sorry. You do a little bit of work in a day, and then you see if you like it. If you like it, then you stick around and you work the rest of the day, and then you just keep coming back after that. And if you don't like it, then that's fine. Then it goes to the second person. So, I mean, it's pretty simple. But, yeah, so that's it. Well, thank you for the interview. No, thank you.